Have you ever been so overwhelmed by fear that you were frozen and you couldn't even move your fingertips? Without blinking, without moving your mouth, without talking, and without taking your feet off the floor. Have you ever had such an awful experience that all you could do is shiver, helplessly, frozen in place? I have. And that story is what I'm going to talk about from now on. When I was 11, one day I was playing in the woods with my friends until nightfall. I told them I had to go home quickly, and I left them in case my mom would scold me for being out too late. After leaving the woods, and I was on the way home, something seemed strange. Suddenly, there was no sound of insects or animals crying at all. In the silence, I got goosebumps and looked around slowly. However, then a faint sound came from the forest. At first I thought it was an animal cry, but the sound grew instantly. No, the sound didn't get louder. The sound was coming at me, and it was getting closer at a terrific speed. But no animal could have moved so quickly. When I thought about that, I instantly got goosebumps. At that moment, in the dark, I saw something approaching like an afterimage. And at the time, I faced a scene that I would never see again in my life. A creature with multiple limbs was crawling to me at a terrific speed. At first, I thought it was a person crawling, but it was an unbelievable speed, and it came before me in the blink of an eye. When I looked more closely, it looked like a spider. It was blue and about 3 feet tall, and it had several grape-like eyes. I froze on the spot. Fortunately, it didn't attack me immediately. It only hovered around. It was moving around in front of my nose, and the mouth seemed to be chewing something at a terrific speed. I heard the sound of chewing bones and a bizarre voice. I couldn't even breathe properly because I was so terrified. Some of you may ask why I didn't run away, but it was so fast that I couldn't dare to run. All I could do was stay still, as if I were dead. The closer the presence of it was, the colder it became, quickly. I could feel the chill from the creature, which was so cold that it couldn't be considered a living thing. As if there was a lump of ice in front of me, I felt like I was going to cough in the cold air, so I suppressed it all the way. It moved back and forth in front of me for a while, and it seemed like it was thinking whether to eat me or not. I couldn't even move a muscle, and I had to stand there and shiver with endless fear. Do you know that feeling? That the moment I move, that the living thing is about to attack me. No one will ever know the feeling of what I'm talking about. In that state, I couldn't move my hands, even though my nose felt itchy, and I couldn't turn my body, even though my legs hurt. I breathed very quietly because I was afraid. Even the sound of breathing would be heard by him, and I felt like I was gradually running out of oxygen. That is how I stood in an immovable position for an awfully long time, and it circled around me dozens of times. And it finally slowly started to move away from me, little by little. I still didn't move when it was about 100 meters away, because it seemed like the moment I moved, it would run instantly and tear me apart and chew me up. After a long time, finally, the thing disappeared into the forest and I could move again. As soon as I took a step forward, I fell to the ground, feeling great pain and cramping in my leg muscles. I pretty much crawled on my hands and feet, and I eventually managed to get home. When my mom saw my blue lips and that my whole body was wet with sweat, she asked what was going on. I talked to her about it, but she didn't believe it. Then I saw the clock, and surprisingly, I realized that when I met that thing, that I stood still like a rock for an hour. That night, I suffered from awful body aches. My fever went up to 104 degrees, and the village doctor came and treated me. Fortunately, I survived, and I told the doctor about seeing it, but he said, "That is truly strange. There was one other kid who said he saw what you talked about before. But the child went missing a while later, and he's still missing." His facial expression hardened. Fortunately for me, I haven't seen it since that day, but I felt like I could find out the cause of what had happened in my town in the meantime. Dogs and livestock that were raised went missing. Neighborhood people also went missing in the woods. The police determined that they were eaten by wild animals, but, well, I don't think so. Sadly, I don't think there were many people who properly judged the situation like me. Everyone would have ran away the moment that they saw it, and they wouldn't have known it was a wrong judgment. They wouldn't have known it was impossible to run away from it originally. After that incident, my family moved, and I don't know what happened to the mysterious thing. And what it was, I still don't know. But I still remember it freshly. The fear of that day. The fear of death that I felt when it constantly circled around me and breathed chills. Even now when I think about it, my heart feels like it's going to stop. If at the time I couldn't hold my cough, I probably wouldn't be here right now.